Welcome to Alpha Stone Concrete's Ask Big Al's Big Podcast. Today we're going to talk about a project that we recently completed. It was a LEED certified home that was actually the home of the architect that designed it. And this is a project that was a labor of love, and we're going to tell you how we helped her out with that. The architect is known for simple, beautiful architecture, and her husband is a college professor. And they wanted to design a house that was in harmony of nature, that was going to take advantage of the seasons for heating and cooling the house. They built the house near a wetland, and the prevailing wind from the north would come across the wetland in the summertime rather, and cool the house. And they oriented where the sun in the wintertime, they would be getting maximum solar energy during the wintertime to help heat the house. And it used concrete extensively in the project. It had recycled concrete paneled walls on the exterior of the house, and it has bare concrete floors that were pigmented to match the rest of the color scheme, and concrete countertops in the kitchen that were right next to the large glass panels. Our involvement with this project started with a referral from a contractor that we've worked with for years that had just landed this job, and we were all eager to participate in it because it was such an interesting job, and the owner slash architect had a very engaging personality. And when she walked into our shop, she said, do you want to see my house? And she had this shopping bag with her, and she pulled it out, and it was this little cardboard model of her house. She had everything planned out in every detail. You remember that, Dan?
Yeah, Maria Chow of Chow Design made a beautiful model of the house. You could pop the top off, look inside, see how everything was going to work. The project had a lot of concrete in it, so we were excited because that's what we do. And she was looking for elements for the house, like sinks and shower stalls and counters, that could only be made of concrete and maybe a few other types of materials, but she wanted to use concrete. And she supplied us with sketches and architectural drawings of the elements that she wanted us to create. And that's how we began working with her, by giving her estimate of cost for these items, and if it was possible to make them, and also for the installation, if it was practical and possible to install the things the way she wanted them to be incorporated into the house, into the design.
She had everything planned out, and especially the budget. She knew exactly how much money that she had on each project, and she had these two-dimensional drawings of these. Everything was everything was custom. The sinks, each one of them weighed about 550 pounds. We found out later, and she had these two-dimensional drawings, and the design was so out of the ordinary and so complicated. It was difficult to wrap our heads around how it was going to look in 3 dimensions. So we had a little bit of a back and forth going through making 3D CAD models and emailing them back and forth, and she would say, oh yeah, that's nice, or let's stick with the original design, or we can go with this modification. And she actually knew what color that she wanted to begin with, and so making the sinks was actually the first part of the project, and we were starting to fabricate the sink before they even broke ground on the project.
Yeah, the pieces had to be made because of the size and the way the house was designed. There was not, after they built the house, there would not be good access getting these large pieces into the house. So we had to have them ready to be able to hoist them up through exterior decks into the second floor, and have structural supports built into the walls before the exterior sheathing, or not exterior, but the interior sheathing of the walls was put up so that these sinks could be hung on the walls and be floating there.
Yeah, that was the beauty of this, is that all the structural support for the sinks is inside the stud wall, so it's all invisible. There's no ugly hardware showing anywhere on the sink.
Design with a pitched flat roof with a slight extension so that it could block sun in the summer and let would let good sun in all throughout the winter, so that the slab could absorb that heat and give it off throughout the evening. We put it was a darker than gray, put mostly black pigment, but there was a few other colors that were added to give that floor some warmth and depth, and also help absorb the heat when the sun was hitting it.
Yeah, we didn't know it at the time, but the color that she chose was one that was used to complement the outside of the house. It's got these large panels that are made of recycled concrete on the side.
Yeah, those panels were not only put on the outside; she used them on the inside too. And you'll see in some of the finished shots of these sinks where the backer walls on the in the bathrooms are covered with this exteriorly mounted concrete panels, and they're modern, very modernistic looking, and they're beautiful. And you don't have to paint them or anything. You if you can install them correctly, you pop them up and they're finished.
Besides the custom sinks and shower pan for the guest bathroom and pigment consulting for the slab, the major part of this project that we contributed to was for the kitchen countertops. She had a pretty extensive countertop there with a bar, and we got a little bit tripped up with the color selection for that. The other colors, she came in and she was very set on what color it was, and it wasn't a whole lot of decision. But up until the very last minute, till the minute we were in there pouring, she was changing her minds about the color of the countertops. The house has a lot of real neutral and natural colors, and she didn't want anything that was just too far out. And so she wanted to have the color just right. What she ended up choosing was it's just the tiniest amount of light buff in
white Portland. We had to we mixed, I think, white and gray Portland together. But when you're using the white Portland, it allows you to pull out the subtleties of the pigments that you're using, and we dialed into the color she was looking for pretty easily once we knew what she was looking for.
Yeah, and when it came out, it was beautiful. It has a lot of concentrations where the pigment would concentrate and make it more vibrant, and somewhere it was a lot more subtle. And when you sits there in the kitchen next to these large glass panels, you see everything, and it's just get to see all the detail, and it looks really wonderful.
It looked like concrete looks. Concrete has just a natural beauty and depth to its color variations. Even concrete with no pigment in it has a beauty that you can't get with any other material.
And because this had just so little pigment in it, it just really brightened up the whole space, but it didn't come off looking artificial, which is just exactly what you wanted.
So for more information or pictures, you can go to alphastoneconcrete.com, or you could call us at 413-863-9888, or go to chowdesigns.com to see Maria's project, or you could go to marhefkakais.com, the builders. The open house is November 1st, 2008. You're welcome to come. It's at 128 Snell Street in Amherst,
Massachusetts. And that's it for this Big Al's Ask Big Al's Big Podcast for the week of September 22nd.